Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Gerard, Witch of Earth's Curious Goods. And today, my earthy people, I want to show you how to make herb bundles with not magic. So if you've ever had herbs in your garden, or if you have your hands on some herbs that you're just like, what could I do with it? Well, today's video is all about that. But before I begin, I want to address something just super quick. That I see a lot of smudge videos and how to make smudge sticks on YouTube, and a lot of creators are, creating it, and I have nothing against that. But what I will say is I don't see them giving credit to the indigenous people for smudging. So smudging is part of their practice. It is part of their ceremonies, and they use it in many parts of their daily lives. So before I begin this video, for all the indigenous people, I want to say thank you. Thank you for introducing smudging. Thank you for allowing us to understand the importance of smudging and smoke cleansing. And so if you guys want to know more about that, I do have in the link in the description, there is an indigenous person going over smudging. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking it out. Without further ado, let's begin. All right, earthy people. So for those of you that have been with me from the beginning of my channel, you already know that I am half Filipino. And in the Filipino culture, there is smoke cleansing. Smoke cleansing is part of our traditions and culture for just helping us connect to the ancestors, helping us connect to nature in general. So, and we use what's called the Bayabas or guava leaves, but I don't have any guava leaves on me. My plant is still, still young, and I don't want to harvest any of those leaves. So today I'm going to be using rosemary and sage to create my smoke cleanse or my herb bundle. And we're going to utilize some not magic with that. So if you want information on if you're Filipino or half Filipino like me, I'll put a link in the description. So if you want to take a look at more information about that. But I'm going to bring you guys in a lot closer to the table so you can see what I'm doing and how you might want to follow along and make the magic your own. So I'll bring you right back. All right, so it's hand puppet time. Okay, so right now I have rosemary from my garden. You're going to want it fresh, not dried. And the only reason why is because when it's dry, it's really hard to really manipulate it or to bundle it together without it crumbling on you. And you don't want that, right? You want it to kind of stay together. So try to get it fresh if you can, or semi-fresh. You're going to need some string and you want it to be natural. A lot of people will use cotton thread or cotton string, I guess is what you call it. But I'm going to be using just natural twine. I love using twine for a lot of my witchcraft and a lot of just my crafting in general. I also have some garden sage from my garden. I like to intertwine it into my actual rosemary stick that I create, or anything that I'm kind of cleansing. I kind of combine the two. I love rosemary. If you guys have ever worked with the magical properties of rosemary, just work with rosemary in general. This has such great properties of protection, and I absolutely love it. You already are familiar with sage. I probably don't need to go over that. If you've been on TikTok or seen other creators, they will talk about sage. So I'm not going to go into in depth, but it's very good for cleansing. I don't like to use a lot of sage though, because I do notice that sage is very strong when it comes to clearing the area. It just clears everything, and it gives me that empty void kind of feel. And I'm not a big fan, so I kind of tend to don't use as much sage in in my cleansings unless it's absolutely necessary. Like I just need that nuke to go off kind of feel. But instead, I tend to use cedar or rosemary. Even lavender is great. I use guava leaves. There's so many other choices that you could definitely do. With all smoke cleansings though, you want to do your research, right? Not all plants are meant to be burned and can be very toxic to pregnant people, to kids, to dogs, to yourself. So do your research heavily when it comes to the type of plant material that you are burning, because not all plant material can be burned. For me, I kind of shy away from anything that has the word deadly in it, like deadly nightshade or hemlock or anything of that. I shy, if I can't touch it with my bare hands, I'm not gonna burn it. No thank you, I'm gonna pass. But you know, rosemary I have burned. I have a dog, you guys have seen my little butter bee, he's a dachshund. And you know, I always keep it in a well ventilated area, and if he ever gets irritated, he just leaves the area. But if you guys have seen Butterbee, he's not shy of magic. I will light candles and smoke and incense and everything. He's right there on the side of me, just with me with it all. So if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. But yeah, but still do your research. Smoke cleansing has a lot of great properties. I will put a link in the description if you want to look at some of the research that is done with it as far as like cleansing the air. There's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of myths where incense or just smoke cleansing is just so terrible, so bad, don't even do it. But the indigenous people have been doing it for a very long time, and so to say that there are no benefits, I'm going to follow their lead. And of course, like I said, I am half Filipino. Even in my own culture, smoke cleansing is utilized. So I'm gonna stick to what I've been doing and what has been done. So first, we're gonna just take your rosemary. Now, if you guys have seen my eggshell video, what I like to do is prior to this, I dust it with some eggshells. I kind of mix it all in. And for me, I don't know, in my head, I just feel like it is cleansing it more. And if there's any kind of like bugs or anything in there as well, kind of like say it tells them to like get out. And then I place this to the side. I allow any kind of like spiders or bugs that were on the plant material to leave. And then I bring it into the home. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is kind of gather it together. So especially when it comes to rosemary, wherever you cut it, so if this is like the thin part, I tend to put them all on one side. This is the thin part, this is a real woody part. So I kind of put them all like the thick to thinnest and put them all together. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. How I'm showing you how to do this herb bundle is just one of many ways. Make the magic your own. If this does not resonate, I just want to show you what I do, and maybe this will inspire you, or do it like me as well. So now that I've got my herb bundle here, I tend to take my sage leaves and I hide it inside of it. Okay, so I put a few of them inside of it. And with the sage leaves, you also want those to be fresh, but I didn't have any fresh sage. The sage in my garden is not ready to be harvested, so I have just the dried one. So we're gonna make this work. And as you can tell, see how it's just very brittle. This is very brittle. So that's why you want fresh, because it is a lot more pliable and you're able to manipulate it, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how I wrap my herb bundle. I do it in sections. You know, you don't have to do that. Some people just wind it all the way around and then crisscross it. The reason why I do it in sections is A, not magic. B, I kind of like when it's burning, that if one of the knots come up loose, that the rest of the bundle still stays together. It just destroys me when the string that's holding it together just burns and it just all falls apart, and now I just have loose herbs everywhere, and you know, that's just not fun. All right, so what you're going to do, and you're going to take your twine or your natural cotton string, and I like to start at the woody part, because that's kind of, for me, that's where it all begins. This is kind of the heaviest part, and I want to go ahead and wrap it together. But before I close it off, I'm going to visualize. This is going to be for cleansing. So all I'm going to do is visualize cleansing. I'm going to see how the smoke is removing anything that does not serve me, okay? As you're thinking about that, I tend to blow air on it. As you guys know, I am an elemental witch, so the breath of air is super powerful. And then I go ahead and begin tying it. I don't make a knot yet. I visualize once more. And then I begin making my knot. And with this knot, I seal my spell. All right, there you go. And don't worry about this, we'll take care about it, see how we have excess here. And I like to have multiple pieces of string because I do it in sections. This one in particular, I'm doing 7. And the reason why I'm doing 7 is 7 for me resonates for the Chariot card in Tarot. And that helps with movement, right? Ooh. So tie it really tight. You don't want these herbs to be escaping. So it should start looking like this. Here we go. And I'm not going to make you guys sit through me doing this whole knot, putting it all together. So I am just going to skip ahead with the power of video magic. Ta-da! With video magic, it is done. So hopefully that can show you. So it should look like this. So you should have all of this knot. Now I am a witchy aesthetic hooker. So all of this string hanging out and how it looks, I need it to feel witchy for me. So I am just going to take my little snippers here and I'm going to get rid of any of the excess. Not to cut my knot though, right? Because you don't want to cut the knot because that will release some of the magic that you just put into it. So don't cut the knot. Why I love putting knot magic into my actual smoke cleanse bundles is because as you're actually cleansing it, it gives it that little umph. Each time you burn one of the actual knots, it's going to release your protection magic, your cleansing magic. So you can imagine the types of herb bundles that you can make. This one in particular I just showed you is just for cleansing, but can you imagine doing an herb bundle for love or trying to, I don't know, hex somebody, banish somebody? There's so many things that you could do with this. So I just want to introduce you to creating a herb bundle using knot magic, right? Knot magic is so strong, people underestimate that. So there we go. And you could just stop with this and stop right here. But once again, I am just one of those, like, I need it, the aesthetic. I need it to really resonate with me. So I'm going to just cut some of this and cut some of this off right here. I want it to be flat. So. There we go. And then we're going to just cut some of this excess. I don't want it to look wild. And some witches will like it like wild, you know? You don't need to do this part like you're just trimming off grass here. You can just skip all this part because all this part, once it dries, it'll burn perfectly. But I like everything in just really neat and tidy and very witchy for me, for my mindset, for how my magic works. I need it to resonate well with me. And aesthetic is one of them that I really, really love in my practice because, you know, me dressing a certain way or wearing certain colors or having my crystals on me, or, you know, there's just the environment or the space, my mindset, all of that's super important. For me, that is. Doesn't mean that that has to be the same for you. Make the magic your own. All right. Ta-da! Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. Ta-da! So here's my herb bundle. I've got all my knot magic in there, so as I'm burning this, it's going to release my spell each time. So you can imagine the more you burn this, so imagine the more cleansing that you want, or maybe protection or love, what have you, it's going to release more and more. Now this one in particular has 7, and I already told you guys why I have 7. It could have 4, it could have just 3. If you are just winding it around, you can make a knot down here or down up here, make a knot here. Just make sure to put some sort of knot in there with that type of magic. So that way when you do burn it and it gets to that knot, it's going to release that spell. for me, I want that spell released 7 times the more I burn this, but I usually don't. When I'm smoke cleansing, 1 knot is very efficient, but let's just say it's something that doesn't want to leave your home. You can imagine, increase it. So it's like 1 knot, 2 knot, 3 knot, it increases in intensity. So if something is really trying to stay in your home or stay in your space, good luck with this type of herb bundle. And of course it has a little bit of sage in there, but you can put lavender. I'm also sometimes I'm a big fan of rose as well. That is a really good thing to add with it. Lavender, rose, chamomile is another good one that you can do if you can get the flower little things. I like to stuff them in there if I want more of like that tranquil space included with my smoke cleanse. So just keep that in mind. So many ways you can make your herb bundles. But there you go, earthy people. That's how you make herb bundles, or herb sticks if you want to call it, and including some knot magic in there. I highly recommend, please put some knot magic into your herb bundles. You will see wonderful things happen. You will see wonderful results. I absolutely love putting knot magic in there. Don't underestimate it. And once again, in the description box, I'll put the Bayabas, which also means guava, by the way, in like Filipino. But I'll put the link for that if you want to look at the Indigenous person talking about smudging, some of the information about smoke cleansing, and maybe some of the beneficial on some of the reports and so forth. I'll put that in some sourcing basically in the description box. So if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, give it a share, help others discover herb bundles and the power of smoke cleansing. And as always, stay earthy, stay magical. Also, I want to thank my channel member, SkinnyGal269, for helping support the channel, and you, my earthy people. You liking, subscribing, and just watching my videos helps, right? Until my next video, bye for now.